Venezuelans filling the streets of Caracas on Wednesday in the latest defiant demonstration against President Nicolas Maduro. Meanwhile, President Trump congratulated Juan Guaido in a phone call for declaring himself the country's interim president. Our Kevin Cirilli is standing by on Capitol Hill with a special guest on this. Kevin?
Yes, we're here with the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for being here. The situation in Venezuela with Maduro's troops reportedly going to Juan Guaido, the interim Venezuelan president's house today. What is the latest and the update that you've received?
Well, yesterday, as you know, we met with the ambassador, and we wanted to assure him that the United States is all in. We recognize the new president as the president. We no longer recognize Maduro as the legitimate president of Venezuela. We walked through with the ambassador their plans as to how they intend to transition. We want to assist in every way possible to have a peaceful transition of the government there, to stand behind the Venezuelan people who have obviously made this decision. Their Congress has made this decision. It's time for Mr. Maduro, the former president, to step aside and let the Venezuelan people do the transition that they want to do.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Chairman, that there's back-channel communications with the Maduro regime in order to make it facilitate that there be some type of peaceful transition of power?
Well, obviously, I can't talk about a lot of these things, but obviously, when they happen, there's almost always some kind of back-channel communications. And I think most countries in the world know where they want to see this go. The people who have sided with Maduro are the worst on the planet. The Syrians, you have the Russians, you have people that are not what we consider good governance, and so the rest of the world is with the Venezuelan people. We want to make it happen.
The U.S. has threatened sanctions on the Maduro regime, whether that be oil sanctions or additional economic sanctions. But when it comes down to what you're hearing from the new ambassador and with Juan Guaido, are you assured at all that they won't make the same mistakes that the Maduro regime has made?
Well, of course, you can never be absolutely certain, but they are certainly saying the things that are appropriate. I think they're sincere in what they're saying. I think the proof is in the pudding. Look, they have followed the Constitution, Section 233 of their Constitution, for making this change. The way people become civilized people is following the rule of law, and the Venezuelan people are following the rule of law. That's a good thing, and that's an indication of where they want to go. You said that we intend to do sanctions. There's already been a number of sanctions put in place, and what we've done is attempted to transfer what power we are able to transfer to the new administration, and we feel comfortable that we've done that. Look, this is not a fight between the United States of America and the old administration. This is an internal matter within Venezuela. We want to support the Venezuelan people that are following rule of law.
You know, one of the communication firms that have relationships with the Maduro regime was ZTE. When you look at the ongoing trade negotiations that the U.S. is having right now with China, and intellectual property, a key central pillar of these trade talks, and cybersecurity really impacting national security. So to broaden it out, what are you hoping from a national security perspective, Mr. Chairman, get accomplished in these trade talks, particularly as it relates to the technology sectors?
Well, the trade talks are really a small part of our relationship with China. In the 21st century, we're going to have an expanded relationship with China. We have to. They're going to expand. They want to compete with us. We understand that. Every country in the world wants to raise their people to a place where they have a better standard of living than what they have. So we understand that. We can compete with them, but we got to compete on a level playing field, and we've got to compete with a country that will follow the rule of law. And so far, China has not had a good track record in that, and we are certainly encouraging them. Micron Technology from my home state is a poster child for what they've been doing, which is wrong.
I want to ask you about something that's on the floor of the Senate, something that you've had a big part in, particularly with Leader McConnell, and that is an amendment that is on the floor right now that many are speculating is a rebuke of President Trump's decision to withdraw troops from Syria and from the Middle East.
I'd be careful with the rebuke. Look, when the Founding Fathers put together the Constitution, they were very clear on some responsibilities in the legislative branch, some in the executive branch. When it comes to foreign policy, both the construction and execution of foreign policy, there were responsibilities given to both. This is the way it's supposed to work. The president is the leader of the country. He puts out ideas. We give and take and talk back and forth. And I think that this is moving in the right direction, and Congress is going to have a say in this.
But respectfully, let me press you and follow up here. What message are you hoping to send to the Commander-in-Chief with this amendment?
We're not hoping to send a message to the Commander-in-Chief. We're hoping to send a message to the world, and that is, this is what America's policy is. And we have worked in crafting this. We have worked very closely with state, with the National Security Council, with the president. Everybody's got their fingerprints on this, and this is the way it's supposed to work.
Mr. Chairman, just quickly, I got to ask you, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, a Democrat from Minnesota, said that she reportedly, quote-unquote, chuckles in an interview with Yahoo News when Israel is referred to as a democracy.
You know, this is the way the Democratic Party is going. It stuns me that you have some of these young people coming into Congress who are looking at friendships that we've had, treaties that we've had, relationships that we've had, and are mocking them with chuckling or what have you. Look, Israel is the strongest ally that we have in the Middle East. We need to support them. We need to work with them. We have great relationships with them on all kinds of different issues.
Chairman Risch, appreciate the time on a cold day, but not as cold as Idaho, here in Washington. Yeah. Back to you, Scarlett, in New York.
All right.